Hello there, it's your Wisconsin wine guy, and I am back again for another wine review. And I guess I don't have to say much about what the name of this brand is, but I'll give you the details as we go along. For those who are new, I select wines that you can find every day at your local liquor store, grocery store, and some wine shop shelves. I give you my opinion, what I think of the wine, using a very simple system. Double thumbs up means I highly recommend that wine. This is a wine that you must buy. Save it in your closet, save it in your wine room, wine refrigerator, and open up for those special moments or to share a special wine with special friends. Thumbs up, single thumbs up, means that, you know what, this is a pretty solid wine, and I would drink it, and I would probably, keep a couple of bottles on hand, depending on, what the circumstances are, but it's a pretty solidly made wine. 3/4, that, you know what, if that wine was at a party, I wouldn't turn it down. I would drink it, and you never know what surprises you find at a party and drinking wine. And this would be a wine that I would actually bring home, keep on hand to share with friends when just have random guests come over. Halfway, not so much for me, but you give it a try and let us all know what you think. Thumbs down, that's always the easy one. Whoa, that did not pass mustard. That did not work, and I recommend don't even get near it. But again, these are my opinions on what I think of the wine. Let your palate be the guide in selecting for yours. So now let's get to today's show. So Harvest Fest, or Harvest Press Cellars out of Washington, and they go through and make make wines from grapes from all over the world. So we're going to be doing today their Chardonnay in a box. So for those who are new to box wines gives you an exceptional value. 4 bottles of wine in one box. And the wines are in this plastic bladder, so oxidation is kept to a minimum or not at all. So you have to worry about that. So we're talking about a shelf life open about 6 months, open maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks, well, depending on how fast or how much wine you drink and who you're sharing it with. But today we're going to be doing the Chardonnay alcohol at 12%, non-vintage. Grapes are sourced from Walla Walla, Washington. And we're going to be doing the Cabernet Sauvignon. The grapes are sourced from Chile, 13% alcohol, also non-vintage. So this is going to be very interesting. I love box wines, especially if there's a good value. So let me show you this. That little spigot there, the little spout, awesome. And for those from the old school, we think about the old Franzia boxes. You had them in the refrigerator or you had them on the counter, and you get your wine, dispense your wine, and it just drips, drips, drips all over everywhere. Well, these are dripless or drip proof. So this is great. So I'm going to pour this up. As usual, I'm going to pour both wines first, and then I'm going to give you my opinions of what I think. How cool is that? So if you're having a gathering at any time of the year, having a box wine, if the value is good, would be fantastic. So here's a look at that Chardonnay. Take a look at that Chardonnay. I pulled this right out of the refrigerator, so I put the whole box in the refrigerator, ready to go. So a nice little golden hue, a golden color with greenish hues to it. That's a pretty beautiful wine. The nose, I can smell the nose from here. So excellent nose. Both of these have a little bit of barrel age to them. And then the Cabernet. Now for the Cabernet, let's get my white back right here. Cabernet is a little bit lighter than what you would find from some Cabernets with high extraction, but, I would say it's more like a garnet ruby color here, and the nose on that from here. Ooh, wow. So that's a good sign, but let's get deeper into the wine. So Chardonnay. Oh, wow. You can get a little bit of richness on the nose. Citrus, some tropical characteristics, like pineapple, I would say. Wow, nice nose. Little apple, pear, very nice nose on that one for Chardonnay. That richness, almost like that subtle butteriness exists there. Now for the Cabernet. Cabernet comes through with spice. More like nutmeg for me, or allspice. Blackberries. A little cedar, a little wood nose. You're gonna like wood nose on this here, like freshly wood chips. When they're breaking it down the wood logs. Nice. So very interesting. All right. So now for the taste. For me, a taste is a two-step process. Tasting for acidity. If the wine has no acidity, it's already a goner for me. It doesn't matter if it's white or red. I want the wine to have liveliness on my palate. So here we go with the right. Wow. Nice acidity. Mouth is watering. Bursting with flavor. You know, it has that subtle creaminess to it. And the flavor just lasts. Wow, nice finish on it. Very refreshing, clean tasting. Not bad. Not over extracted, you know, not over buttery and all that kind of stuff that you'll find in some Chardonnays, but pretty balanced, pretty nice. Now for the cab, for the rinse. Now, acidity, again, nice acidity. When I taste wine from Chile, I like to taste a wine that has a little bit of earthiness to it. And also definitely pick up that here, you know, on the Chilean Cabernet. Finish is like short to medium, not as long as the Chardonnay, but it does have nice flavor. You know, the components I think is very nicely balanced. But if you like that earthy quality, you can't go wrong here. On the taste again, taste this again. So you get a subtle bitter finish, but I think still it's a pretty overall decent Cabernet coming out of the box. So let's now give you what my opinions are going to be. Let's grade these wines. Chardonnay first. Definitely get like apple, pear, pineapple, citrus. Just as I smell, mouth is watering. That subtle richness on the palate. I think the finish is nice. And I have it at a much colder temperature. You could probably serve this even cooler instead of cold. So I'm going to give the Chardonnay, a Harvest Press, thumbs up. You know, I think it's a pretty solid Chardonnay in the box. I think it'd be a nice all-around crowd pleaser. You know, one that's very enjoyable. I mean, heck, I would even drink this myself and keep this on hand. If you don't feel like opening up a bottle, but just to have something on hand, just to give me a little bit of wine, I think it'd be great with food as well. Now for the Cabernet. Now, the Cabernet, I think very simple, everyday drinking wine. There's that little bitterness that exists there, a little astringency. I think the tannins are nice, you know, like medium tannins, you know, so it has a good structure to it. But I think that those subtle bitterness, the fruit is short-lived, finish is decent, but I think that subtle bitterness, you know, will probably turn some people off. It may be different with food, maybe not. So I'm going to give this, the Cabernet, 3/4. Okay, 3/4 because of that subtle bitterness. I think it's still pretty a decent wine. You know, I like the earthiness, I like the fruit, but it's very soft. But 3/4, you know, on this one here. So let's do a recap. Harvest Press Chardonnay, thumbs up. I think it's a pretty solid Chardonnay coming out of the box for Harvest Press. Harvest Press Cabernet, 3/4. There you have it. So give these a shot. Let us know what you think. And as always, your Wisconsin Wine Guy says, let your palate be the guide when selecting your next wine. And I'll see you next time. Ciao.